I might be able to
talk yourself into it
easily.
once again. What do you know? All right, guys, let's shape up. Oh my God, look at Brucey B on the cover there.
Look at that guy.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the DNVR Nuggets podcast. It sounded like a machine, like a. Yeah, what is it with Sylvester Stallone?
An air machine.
Rambo. Yeah. That's what it sounded like.
It was an air horn.
Air horn. We are live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. Toyota, the official vehicle of DNVR. Well, the draft is over.
Sure is.
And it's free agent season.
It was over for us before it started, and now we're into our real season.
You didn't know that.
I did know that.
Yeah, we all do that. But we're going to talk free agents today. Should be a lot of fun. It's also just casual Friday. We're all showing off some legs here.
Oh, yeah, all of us.
All of us are. Brennan Votes in the house.
What's up? We have 3 new names to talk about today, at least here as the two-way and training camp deals come in, summer camp deals come in. So a little bit of Nuggets news. We'll take what we can get.
We'll take what we can get, man. Yeah, something fresh to talk about.
Something fresh to talk about.
And it's not for once, it's not a new fresh hell. It's actually exciting.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting.
Movement.
Over there, the optimistic guy, he's feeling optimistic today. I like it. Bringing positivity. We haven't had much of that. It's D-Line.
Listen, with new blood, new optimism, new players, you can start to imagine what can come. Everybody's stuck in the mire of the failure, the diaper we've been sitting in for so long. I feel like there's people just getting Nuggets rash out there. And we just need to... You get a little talc on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nothing better than summer league squads to talc up the fan base.
Everybody talc it up, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. What's that? The audience has dropped to 0 after that joke?
How you guys doing today? As a general question.
I'm great. I went to, so do you know that it was the 50th anniversary of Jaws' release over last weekend?
I didn't know that, but that's cool.
So Peacock released like a remaster. Spielberg spoke before it. So I watched that with my family. I'd never seen it before.
You've never seen Jaws?
I know, it's great. I always thought it'd be a little corny and campy, but it's pretty gnarly, man. Like the opening scenes
it's very gnarly.
Are not for the faint of heart. And my mom told me, it's based off a book, and she said that summer that it came out, everyone read it. I found it at a used bookstore yesterday. So I'm reading Jaws, which is really exciting. Is this what you wanted to know?
Yes, exactly what I was hoping for.
Yeah, dude, I want to know what your thoughts of Jaws were. I'm
tremendous. Honestly,
really?
It's one of the classics people tell you should watch it. You should watch it. You watch it. It's great.
Isn't it based in New Jersey?
I don't know if it's based in New Jersey. Is Roy Schneider, is that the actor who plays the character who says we're going to need a bigger boat? He did go to my high school, Columbia High School Hall of Fame, along with Lauryn Hill and Zach Braff.
Dang.
Oh my gosh, that's actually a lot of dude,
how many times have you watched Garden State and just been like, yeah?
I watched it twice. I watched it twice when I was a young, sad boy as well, with lots of emotions.
That is the ultimate movie that you think is really dope when you watch it when you're in college and you're 20 years old and you're like, dude, this is incredible. Then you watch it with the lights on and you're like, oh, what the hell is this?
Because nothing hits harder than a coming-of-age movie until you've come of age.
It's so true.
And you're like, oh, you idiots.
It's so true.
I hate youth.
Very profound. What about you? How you doing?
Hey, listen, man. I flew in from Europe yesterday. My body was quite sore. I tried to watch several movies. None of them were Jaws. I tried to watch 2001: Space Odyssey.
What's your favorite old movie?
My favorite I like Citizen Kane. I saw it in the big theater. It was great.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a film nerd that it's fallen off, but I used to work in movie theaters. I probably mentioned here before, so I've seen a lot of movies.
Yeah.
And I kind of am now in a place where I'm a little bit over the gritty realisms phase that we're all in. I kind of yearn for the stylized, fun movies that they used to make in the 90s and 2000s, Amelie, and basically anything that used to make was stylized and weird and wasn't supposed to feel real. Yeah. Now everything is gritty and real.
Have you either of you? I think I brought this up one time before, maybe not. Have you ever played the video game Grizz?
No.
It is so freaking incredible. That might be my favorite game of all time. And it's one of these, it's just like a little girl. It's like watercolors. And it's the easiest game ever. It's not challenging at all. It's almost like you are moving her through the world, through a maze, kind of one of those type of games. But it is so gorgeous.
Yeah.
I think it is spectacular. I'm playing it with my kids, They love it. It's amazing. And it's simple. It could have been made 15 years ago.
They make a lot of those now. You can be the wind through the breeze through a flower.
It's kind of how this one is. It's pretty awesome. Casablanca, my favorite old movie. Thanks for asking, guys.
Yeah,
All right.
for sure.
The Nuggets made a couple
already
moves.
knew that,
We
by
already
the
knew that. The Nuggets made a couple moves here, including, we talked about it last night, signing Tamar Bates. But since then, Brendan Vogt has done a little research, done his own research. So what have you found out in your research?
Yeah, let's talk about Tamar Bates first. And to be clear, he's a two-way contract signing. The first, I think, that we know of so far, reported by Tony Jones of The Athletic. Shout out, Tony Jones. Tamar Bates is a shooting guard who played at Missouri. Mizzou. And he's a lefty.
Cronky you.
He's a lefty. 6'3" without shoes, 191 pounds at the combine.
This is a point of contention.
Yeah, so for
There's no way. I can tell you right now without ever having seen him, he's 6'3". Because anytime there's that two numbers you get, it's always
sure.
It's like Pickett was 6'4" or 6'5", or you're like, I don't know.
I will say quickly, like he plays kind of big.
Okay.
So, all right. So, yeah, one thing to keep in mind as we talk about all these guys is some of them went to the combine, some did not. At the combine, we have official measurements. Otherwise, we have what they're listed at school. With Tamar Bates, we have those combine measurements, 6'3", 191 pounds. He played 66 games for Missouri, transferred in from Indiana. We're going to look at just those Missouri numbers, fellas. 13.4 points, 2.6 rebounds, a negative assist to turnover ratio.
Yeah, that's tough.
1 assist, 1.3 turnovers per game. 50 from the field, 39 from three on 3.5 attempts per game, 93.6% from the line in his 66 games from Missouri.
I'm going to tell you we're stopping right now with that assisted turnover. We're either going to love this dude or hate him at Summer League.
I couldn't agree more.
He might lead the team in field goal attempts, all that stuff. And it's like, my God, dude.
So Tamar Bates, the lefty, I would describe him as a shooter slasher.
Yeah.
So off ball, he's a threat in the corner. Don't leave him open. He'll shoot it. Mostly, though, the threat is him with the ball in his hands. I would say he will shoot the above the break three in transition if you go under, but I think he's more of a catch and survey guy above the break where he's going to look at the defense, try to break you down, maybe pull up off a dribble, but he wants to break you down and get to the rim as well, where he has, those saucy, wiry layup packages you see from players with those wiry builds. He wants to kind of beat you one-on-one. Don't go under. Don't leave him open. When you say shooter in college basketball, that's a wide range of some guys shoot all the way up to 9 attempts per game. Bates is a more well-rounded scorer, and he does want to get to the line. Again, he's insanely efficient at the line. His senior year, he led the nation shooting 94.6% from the free throw line.
Damn. That's an important number,
That's an important number. So he's efficient, he's saucy, can finish at the rim, fun layup package. There's some athleticism. With a head full of steam, he can dunk it on you. At the NBA, I wouldn't describe him as a high flyer. For the weaknesses, reading the floor, I think that's implied with the turnover to assist ratio numbers there. And his defense, obviously, the size at shooting guard, right? So this is a guy, ball in the hands.
Arms.
He's looking to score with the ball in his hands. So look at him as a shooting guard. And then when you look at him that way, 6'3", not the biggest shooting guard out there. This is a scorer, guys.
Can he bring the ball up the court?
Yes, I think he can bring the ball up the court.
So in theory, he could play alongside a Christian Brown. In a like no point guard type of lineup or something. You need some scoring. You think about when Yoke plays without Jamal or something, you just need somebody that can score, and then Yoke's the point guard, even though he's the point center. And so maybe, again, what is the point of these two ways? In my opinion, the point of the two ways is somebody's out, somebody's injured, and we need to have somebody that can play. I don't care what this guy is in 5 years. Just this year, can you give us 3 games in a row in December, 6 games in a row in February because we're shorthanded? And maybe that's kind of the thought is this guy can score 94% from the foul line. That tells me he's a true shooter.
Yep.
Give him Jokic, and it's like, he's probably going to get open shots, and maybe he just knocks them down.
Yeah, so you're going to look at shot selection too, right? In college, it all has to scale up. When you're a just scorer kind of archetype, and that's what you bring to the table. Obviously, it's one thing to do in high school, then D1, then Summer League, two-way, G League. The NBA, you really got to be efficient to justify. You're sort of looking at it, not to comp these players specifically, but Julian Strawther is an example of this dynamic, right? He has to score enough that, yes, he's out there. So, with Bates, if he's going to take wild shots, he's got to hit them. And, he's not a guy who's going to score the way Christian Brown does, like these cuts and timely cuts. He's really more trying to cook people, and he can do that. But shot selection, reading the floor, how quickly does he get on or off the ball playing at the pro level, where it's not all about him as much as it was at Missouri? These are all fair questions to ask. Having said that, do not be surprised if there's a game or two where he's lighting it up. Really quickly, you said, could he bring the ball up the floor? Yes, to alleviate pressure. I wouldn't look at him as a secondary playmaker or initiating offense.
No, but just dribble it up.
But literally just getting the ball up the floor.
Because it's like, okay, he doesn't read the court well. Guess what? Dribble the ball up the court, give it to Jokic on the elbow.
Get out of the way.
Totally.
Now we're
100%.
playing basketball.
Yeah, don't read it. Like,
Don't read anything.
like stop reading. Just get in the corner. Yeah, I watched a bit of film on this guy too. I gotta say, I mean, I don't know if you're done, but like,
No, go ahead, buddy.
I like him, man. He looks really solid to me. Like I like his shot, like just the physical mechanics of it. Doesn't like it's not slow. It looks just solid. It looks very repeatable. I liked his finishing at the rim. I didn't see a ton that showed me a lot of his breakdown ability. So the film that I was watching was a lot more of like he was in the corner. They would kick it out to him. He would knock it down above the break a little bit. But he just looks like competent. He looks solid to me. Like I like how he moved. Like he didn't seem like he was really indecisive with what he was trying to do. The turnover ratio says maybe he might be, but like in what I was watching, I just thought like I saw a little Harrison, our own Harrison Wind said that he looked like a lefty Will Barton. I didn't fully see that. Like I saw a little shade of Aaron Aflalo in him. Like I saw.
Aflalo was a hooper man in high school, like back in the day. I know that wasn't. He's not really known as that, but he was like a saucy footwork guy.
Yeah, I mean, he was like the rattlesnake. He didn't have that. Like, he didn't have that like jerky thing that Aflalo did. But just like as far as his build is concerned, he didn't seem small to me. I was surprised to learn that he was 6'3" rather than 6'5", because like he did seem a little bigger to me as a guard. Just in watching the film, but I'm super intrigued by this guy. Like he just looks to me like he could be like a super legitimate, like kind of do it all sort of player.
A couple more points on him for posterity's sake. He is 22. All three fellows we'll talk about today were seniors. In particular, Bates is 22. He was born or he played high school basketball in Kansas, IMG Academy. Then he went to Florida, Indiana, Missouri, 2 and 2 years respectively in college. So yeah, he's a guy who at least went to the combine, got some measurements in, I think got some looks, and the Nuggets will get a closer look as they've signed him here to a 2-way contract.
He also has my hairline, which is not great.
Yeah, it's not the best hairline.
As a young man.
It's really cool though. He's part of the sauce is that he's a lefty.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And Eric mentioned above the break, this guy will score all over the floor. Mm-hmm. Like I said, don't leave him open in the corners. That's where he's an off-ball threat. But he'll come up and get the ball, take a dribble or two and pull up. He definitely wants to get out and transition and score. He's just sort of unafraid to go get a bucket. And honestly, we've talked about the assist-to-turnover ratio and maybe decision-making. The reality is he was hyper-efficient as a scorer. It wasn't just a chucker. So 50, 40, 90 is nothing to sneeze at.
I kind of also like him. I mean, who knows if Pickett is the plan or not, but I kind of like him there offensively. Defensively, you're going to have two shorter guys, although his wingspan is really great. But staggered lineups, maybe that doesn't matter as much, the height off the bench. But Pickett, I think, is a phenomenal table setter, but he's not going to break down the defense, too much off the dribble. He's not going to score a ton. So maybe pairing him with a scorer is like, all right, facilitator over here, scorer over there, and it works.
And it kind of seems like we're seeing. I mean, the Nuggets are kind of coning in a certain archetype of player they feel like they need. Like he and the other guy that we're going to talk about are similar in that way. Like just.
Well, they mentioned shooting.
Yeah, two guard that
we'll talk about shooting today.
Maybe handle a little bit, but like really just more shooting.
Yeah. I wonder what it's like, man, the draft and then free agency and the trade market, just how the sequence they go in. I wonder if the draft was last, how different it would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You draft guys and then all of a sudden somebody's available in free agency and you're like, I think this might have happened with Dillingham a little bit last year for Minnesota. Where they draft him, and then later on they add some other guys, and you're like, maybe we didn't actually need him, and we would have gone a different direction. Kind of weird. All right, let's take a break on the other side. Reyne Smith. We got an Aussie, fellas.
I know it, finally.
There's a small chance we're going to Australia next summer.
I'd say it's a very small chance.
Very small chance, but not zero. We might have found out. Also, Tasmania, let me know in the chat, Aussies. Tasmania count?
I don't think it counts.
It doesn't quite count?
I think probably Australia doesn't think it counts, but Tasmania think it counts.
Let us know in the comments, does this count?
Look, everyone's been there. You built a parlay. It looks gorgeous. You're 2.5 legs down of this 3-leg parlay. You're just counting on, well, hopefully it's not a relief pitcher. If it is, you know how baseball can go.
Holy smokes.
And, oh no, there's a walk-off home run of the 9th. Eric, heartbreak. Eric, your parlay just failed. Does that sound familiar?
Why you got to count out my parlay?
Well, because it's supposed to sound familiar in the read. That's why, yeah.
Well, still, I feel attacked, but it does happen quite often.
Don't worry, because the Hall of Fame app is built to fix that, brother. Started by 2 lifelong sports fans who also happen to be Ivy League grads. Hall of Fame makes parlay research smarter, faster, and data-driven. This is not your buddy's group chat. These are not the very nice folks on Twitter who like to put out their picks for fun or free. This is access to advanced stats, historical data, and powerful tools to help you bet smarter. The app Bet is built for the everyday sports fan, so it's easy and intuitive to use. You get an idea of your parlay's chances to hit and identify those weak legs before you place them and before you lose them. For a limited time only, our listeners not only get a 7-day free trial, but they also get 50% off their first month when they use code DNVR at checkout. Just download the Hall of Fame app on iOS and Android or visit hofbets.com and enter code DNVR. Once you do, you're all set. Well, this next product, I'm going to go ahead and wager that you've heard of it at home. It's called Miller Lite. It's called Miller Lite.
That's a carb. Oh, the very popular drink that's been around for my entire life.
Correct. Yes, the light beer that's been around since 1975. Miller Lite has been the go-to beer to fill up the cooler when it's a good day to grill. It's a good couple months to grill here coming up, and when the food is delicious. And we all look. It's the kind you're putting some meat on the grill, right? Hopefully you've got some great salads, sides like and
you lost me a little bit.
Yeah, sorry. I meant to say sides. I was gonna say macaroni salads. You know,
I'm back in.
You know, all kinds of potato salads.
I feel a little thirsty hearing this though.
Yeah, and it's filling too, right? So you can't have an IPA right now. What you need is a light beer.
Salad in as possible.
No, you need a light beer, which is like the salad of drinking beer. With Miller Lite, you know, it's not. It's never been broken because they've never tried to fix it. It's been this way for 50 years. Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/DNVR to find delivery options near you. Or you could pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. Cheers to 50 years of Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
All right, we are back. Here, part 2 of the segment 2 DNVR Nuggets podcast. Make sure you guys hit the like button for us. 2 more players, and we joke, but we did get an Aussie. They did tell me in the chat. I don't know if it was the Aussies telling me. I didn't see Josh Barnett from Down Under, who I would trust.
I thought I saw I thought I saw something. Let me look.
Yeah, go ahead and look. But they are telling me it is Australia. It does count. It does count. Reyne Smith, by the way, I looked up the place he was from. Population? How many people do you think live in the town he is from?
I'm not going to know.
Just take a guess. I know you won't. That's
this
why
is
it's
definitely going to be one of these things where like some animal has a higher population than people.
Let's say 5,000.
It was 11,000.
All right. That's what I wanted to say.
11,000 is a tiny little town, man.
It is.
Yeah.
And
like,
they have an
they've got more
NBA player,
kookaburras
kind of an NBA
than people.
Kookaburras. But what can you tell me about him, Vote?
Well, we're talking about Reyne Smith here, and he is a shooting guard from Louisville by way of Charleston, where he played most of his college career, shot the cover off the ball, got noticed, ended up playing for Louisville. And as mentioned, he is an Australian lefty, another lefty. We don't have combine measurements for him, for Smith, so he's listed at 6'2", 190. Let's say maybe closer to 6 feet. I don't know for sure, but he's listed at 6'2", 190. Shooter. And if it's to be reductive, let's do it. Let's oversimplify it. That's what Smith is.
Does the ball spin opposite direction when he shoots it?
I was just going to, because of the lefty or the Australia thing?
Both?
I was going to ask you, just quickly, sorry, Vote.
Go ahead,
because
brother.
we have 2 lefties. Is there any appreciable difference between a lefty player and a righty player?
For sure.
How it obviously like the way the plays are structured and how maybe the ball is received by others.
It's just that I think what it is defensively is everything happens the same way. So you have like subconscious instincts, including like how a guy raises up to shoot. And with a lefty, it's always opposite. So I think there's just a little bit of you're off rhythm guarding lefties. So I do think there's something to a lefty just adds a little bit of a curveball. Not a big deal, but it is a little bit of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the thing about Smith is when he's on the floor, everyone knows the deal. So Smith, in that Louisville season, his senior year, this most recent season, he shot 38% from 3. Sounds respectable. It was on 9 attempts per game.
Dang.
So think about that. 9 attempts per game in college, and the entire scouting report is let's not let this guy get a 3 off. I mean, you'll see him, they're forcing him to the rim sometimes as far as 25 feet away, and he's not even necessarily taking the cut. He's waiting for his chance to get open. The year before that, his junior year at Charleston, 39.4% from 3 on 8.1 attempts. He averaged 12 points per game with Louisville. Let's all just do some quick math. Not a lot of 2-point attempts that he shot, really. This guy he was shooting a lot. He'll shoot from anywhere as soon as he catches it. The defense knows it. His teammates know it. That's the scouting report, guys. Picture your quintessential kind of small white college guy that can shoot so well he gets a roster spot. And now imagine a guy who's so good at that, he's going to get some version of a look here at Summer League.
Feels like an Andrew Funk.
I was going to say, this is the new Funk. Let's go. Funk, my favorite guy, man. I loved old Funk.
Funk it up, dude.
Funk was the least NBA-looking guy. Reyne Smith kind of doesn't look like an NBA guy either. So.
He says you make him sound like a lottery pick. Not sure if you just heard what I said. He
Why
only
are you hyping him up, man?
He only shoots. That's the only thing that he
plays
does.
Inside the 3-point line, he dunks.
I said none of that. I said he only shoots. He's the guy that got the spot on the college team because he shoots so well.
He guards 1 through 5. You said
he doesn't guard 1 through 5. Doesn't dunk. Not a very versatile.
You're making
player.
this guy sound like he's the best player.
I know. Yeah.
Why did you say generation?
Not Gary. Listen, actor Juan Rivera. He's not Gary Payton on
Dude,
defense.
that's the guy. That's the argument guy.
I know. Joke's on me. No, this is
the chat reply,
this is a
guys,
summer league signee, guys. So expectations low. But what does he do? He shoots the basketball.
Dude, I love when shooters have a name that fits a shooter. Reyne.
Oh yeah, dude, it's like
the Rain Man.
Yeah. Oh, it's raining over here.
That's Sean Kemp. But the point is I agree. Like, there's nothing better than when you have a defensive back named Quentin Jammer.
Yeah.
Or like you just have a guy like where you're like, oh
Totally.
man, it's like the stars were aligned. It was meant to be.
This is why we got to get Lonzo Ball at Ball Arena.
Yeah, dude.
So Reyne Smith, the new Funk. Do you have any thoughts or feelings?
I actually didn't watch any, but you know, from what Vote says, he's the best player.
I think for Summer League, you're right. You just want some shooters. So hopefully he goes out there and lights it up, man. Why not? Let it fly. And then the last one, Curtis Jones.
Yes, Curtis Jones.
I watched some C. Jones.
Let's go to I shorted him, by the way. He scored 13.1 points per game. Let's go to Curtis Jones, who is from Iowa State. This is another senior. Let me go to my notes here. My bad. That's why I took him, right? He's a senior from Iowa State by way of Buffalo. We're looking at another shooting guard. He's a little bigger, 6'4", at least listed as 6'4". He is 23 years old right now, 195 pounds. Interesting description here, guys. He led Iowa State his senior year scoring. He was not a starter. He is described as one of the best, if not the best, 6 men in America. At Iowa State, they call him their 6th starter. He averaged 17.4 points per game that senior year. Not as efficient as the other fellas. 40% from the field, 37% from 3, albeit on roughly 7 attempts per game, 84% from the line. A little bigger than the other guys. Maybe more of just a straight up chucker, I think, a little bit. Not chucker. He just wants to, he's a scorer. And he's going to get his shots up, even off the bench. I know our guy Andre compared him a little bit to Julian Strawther.
Yeah, I saw that too. He does have a little bit of a Julian Strawther haircut.
I was going to say, I know it's just a hair thing, man.
I couldn't divorce myself from him. He did feel a little bit like Julian Strawther at home.
One thing that's interesting about Curtis Jones is this news came to us from Jonathan Gavoni at ESPN, who simply said that he's signed a deal with the Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
I don't know what deal that is yet. I don't know if that's a two-way deal, a summer league deal. My guess is the latter, but we'll find out, of course, in the coming days.
A half-season package.
So those are the 3 names, fellas, that I know of so far that the Nuggets have added either to the two-way or the summer league spots. And, of course, as we know, Ben Tenzer has confirmed that Deron Holmes will be playing in summer league with this roster.
You know who the big winner is here, in my opinion? Deron Holmes. If you're going to be it's hard to be a big man. And I don't know if they have a great point guard to give him just yet, like true pass first point guard. That's the one thing. But you give him you go to a summer league with 3 great shooters.
Yeah.
And as a big man, that's the best you could hope for.
He himself wants to shoot a lot.
And he could shoot too. So let's play some 5-out ball.
He currently, in the Nuggets organization, is shooting 100% from 3.
He was
3 for 3.
Was he really?
Yes.
Man, I remember him making some threes. I didn't know if he was 3 for 3.
He was 3 for 3.
All right, well, Curtis Jones, I think
Curtis Jones, I watched him a little bit too. Yeah, I mean, he has deep range.
Yeah.
He like a lot of his shots were, like from that Lou Dort area in the finals, like where it was not. You don't have a choice to go under the screen or over the screen. It's like the screen hasn't even come yet. Like it's so he shoots deep shots, and he shot was like looked a little slow to me, but it was going in. Obviously, it's a highlight package, so it's hard to know.
He didn't miss any of them.
Yeah.
He didn't miss a single
Let's
shot.
see his top misses. So it's a little hard to scout that stuff. So anytime I look at these, I just like, how does this guy move? Like, can I imagine him amongst other NBA players? A little bit, again, like I did see Julian Strawther in there a little bit. Will be interesting to see, but he definitely was making in his highlight package, making a lot of shots.
Who do you think is going to show up at Summer League this year? This will be an interesting litmus test because
I can't believe Hunter Tyson's not playing.
Guys don't play a third year that often.
But
man.
why not? Kenneth Faried played at Summer League after he'd been in the league for 10, 15 years. Like
that was an abnormality. Guys just don't play, and I don't think players like to play because it feels, like going to orientation your senior year or something.
But it's just live ball competition against guys that you're not around every day. I just don't know why.
I think players don't have, because if he goes there and plays, what's the realistic upside for him? He's already made the team, the all Summer League team. He's already gotten that
contract.
And he's already got a contract. So if he goes out there and plays well, it's like, well, he's a third year guy.
He's supposed to play well.
He's also went to college for 3 years. He's basically 5 years ahead of most of the guys here. And if he plays poorly, it's like this guy can't even do it at Summer League.
If you're asking me, like, what the upside is, it's like he could get energy on his side for the new regime that's come in. Like, you really like flash. Obviously, you're supposed to, but like,
I think I can report this now. Last year, Michael Malone wanted Peyton Watson to play Summer League.
Yeah, and he didn't want to.
Very offended by it because he's like, I'm playing actual NBA minutes now. I'm second year. This would have been a third year. And it felt like an insult.
I know. I hate that though. But listen, I understand the politics of all of it, like, and why it would feel that way. To me, it's like if you're a guy that's just been planted on the bench, you just want to get as much run as you can, like regardless.
It can also hurt you though, man.
Yeah.
I think
if you don't play well,
Pickett playing, like Pickett, like think about Pickett. That was a real momentum halter. His Summer League last year. So I think guys can be afraid of that too.
Yeah, and literally getting hurt. I mean, literally getting hurt, which of course. They all saw up close, and that's part of it. It's Summer League is weird basketball too. I mean, you kind of
not real basketball.
It's not organized. I honestly think you're as likely to turn an ankle as you are to turn a head in that gym. So
it's so true. Julian Strawther 27 points per game last year, if you recall. In
Summer League. Right. Yeah. No, but I mean,
on fire.
That's what I mean. Like that. But that's awesome. That's where we're like. Man, all right, cool. We got a guy here. And there's just something. I mean, again, I get it. But I just.
Julian Strawther did both, turn heads and an ankle. Pretty gnarly one.
You're right. He did turn his ankle, huh?
Yeah, it was tough.
That was a bummer one. I don't blame guys for not playing in Summer League. I think that's kind of a tough ask if you're in your third year. And also, like you said, I just think it's such fake basketball. These guys can play high-level basketball. There are private runs that they go through. They go through workouts. I think there are guys that could probably get in close to a Summer League caliber of play that like the Rico Hines runs or different things like that. So, or your favorite gym in America, the 24-hour fitness gym. By the way, Kevin Durant, man, his bag was deep the other day.
Really?
Yeah, he was at that gym.
He sauced it up.
Yeah,
did
he still, and that was like the caption. It still has that bag or something.
Yeah,
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant.
I saw that because he was in the NBA last year.
Yeah, because I thought maybe he'd lost it since then, but no, he still has it.
No, he still has it.
He still has
against
it.
Carmelo Anthony's son.
Carmelo's still going to that gym. It's also the dumbest gym because if you notice that like the 3-point line, they're like, let's find the dumbest, smallest gym in America and play the best games.
It's
insane
that no one can see, but it is wild because like there's 0 people watching, yet it's the most seen.
It is the most seen. You know what they really need is to go play at the Memphis Grizzlies practice facility. Do you see that, Jim?
Yes, the L shape.
That is the worst one. All right, let's take a break. On the other side, it's free agents time.
This is a real mid-off, us making fun of the Memphis practice facility.
Yeah, I know. They're not like us.
That's like good old fishing.
Like us.
Good old fishing mud off is what that is. How about Denver's best roofers, Red Hawk Roofing, elite at their jobs, big Nuggets fans, and personally, we like to call them friends. And I feel like I'm bragging when I say that because they're actually super cool to hang out with.
They told me that they
don't.
Well,
Well, they have to put up with me because it's a partnership. Go with the pros and make checking your roof a part of your spring cleaning routine and catch any issues or repairs before they get out of hand. I don't know why I'm reading this. It's Red Hawk Roofing. So yeah, no matter how small or big this job is, they want to work with you. They want to be honest with you. They want to leave you feeling like, wow, I can trust those guys up there to obviously take care of my home or my business, but also not rip me off in an industry where people will do that, in an industry where maybe you personally, quite literally, just don't want to go up on your own roof. That's fine. They'll go up there. You can trust them no matter how small or big that job is. The long-lasting relationships matter with the customers more than making a quick buck, especially by ripping anyone off. Quality materials, decades of experience, quick response time, Colorado's best estimators and contractors. Supporting your local teams means also supporting local businesses like Red Hawk Roofing. If you're looking for a new roof over your home or business, be sure to check out Red Hawk Roofing at redhawkroofing.com or call 720-771-8921. Tell them that DNVR sent you.
Man, if you don't understand how dope Red Hawk Roofing is, I feel like I have a roofer, and I live in a condo.
Yep, you've never needed that at all.
Vote Reds, and he has a roofer.
We've got you covered here. This ad break from the roof
to the floor.
Shout out
Let's go,
Empire
dude.
Today, the absolute emperors of flooring. Again, no political connotation there whatsoever. Or power structure.
Nope.
They're not emperors. They're good at this, is what I'm trying to say.
Are they socialist? Do we know?
Yeah. No, don't, Eric.
But they do have an empire.
They do have an empire, yeah, but they're generous emperors. Here's what they do. They provide flooring. You know that because you've heard of Empire Today. They've been advertising on your TVs, your podcast, your radio, pretty much your whole life. It's because they're the goats at this. When you're getting new flooring in your home or business, there should be absolutely no surprises. There should be absolutely no questions asked once you've already purchased or made your purchase. You want to pick the right flooring and the right colors for your space. See how it looks with your furniture in your house, and you want to get a sense of all of this before you leave the store, before you make any pricey commitments. Schedule a free in-home estimate today because some things are just better at home. DNVR listeners can receive a $350 discount when using promo code DNVR, a $350 discount with code DNVR. Restrictions apply. Visit empiretoday.com/DNVR for full details.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Alrighty, we are back here. The most interesting thing, in my opinion, that was said at the presser last night that you attended and that you can watch up on the DNVR.com's YouTube page was that Ben Tenzer saying pretty certain we'll be more active in free agency than we will the trade market.
Yep.
Because this is not the best free agent market. It never is. There's never good free agents anymore. But him saying that to me really hints at there's 3 roster spots. Do the Nuggets trade a Saric, but get back nothing? You know, like it's a trade where it doesn't really do anything but open up another spot. Even a Peyton Watson trade to me at this moment, based on just hearing what they said, feels very unlikely. So if you just go Peyton Watson being like below the line, would they make a Pickett deal? Yeah, if one fell in their lap, I think they probably would. Hunter Tyson, whatever. But that's not big shakeups.
No.
Even if you traded Pickett, you're almost certainly not getting back a player that's going to play.
No.
So then that means to me, did you hear it the same way, by the way?
100%. Yeah, I did. I mean, look, they've been telling us, we've been trying to sort of relay it as we hear it, which is it's the exceptions. It's the exceptions are the way they're going to try to add to this roster. Again, if a wonderful deal falls in their lap, right, then so be it. But I don't think you're looking at really any sort of fundamental change-ups to the roster beyond those exceptions in free agency.
Well, let's talk about some. So the Nuggets basically have 2 levers they can pull if they're going for free agencies. They have vet minimum contracts that they can sign. These range from roughly $1.3 million to about $3.6 million, and it's based on how many years you've been in the NBA. So if it's a more veteran player, that number is going to be higher.
But you get the same level hit to your
Correct, exactly. So that is one vet minimum, literally the least amount a player can be paid. And then the second one is their taxpayer mid-level exception, which allows a little bit more wiggle room. Like we can get a little bit better of a player there. And it's about, I believe, about twice the value there of your like more veteran vet minimums. So let's start with the MLE candidates. And we've already talked about this guy a lot, so we can be a little bit quick. But Brucey B, here's the funny thing, Eric. We always say you are the fan that's on the show. So you're like a stand-in for how fans feel.
The everyman.
The
mouth breather.
If the Nuggets signed Bruce Brown,
yeah.
If it was reported, forget how if it's a good or bad move. I just feel like it would be a vibes injection.
Yes. Dude, here's the thing. we talked about this last night. There's a thing called draft fever. There are various seasons that you can win or lose throughout the year. Like you can win the in-season tournament. You can win the offseason.
That's
you
like below winning the offseason.
Like right now, Charlotte won the draft, which means like the first time you've heard the word Charlotte and won.
I think Atlanta Hawks won the draft. Same point though.
Point being, like there's a thing where it's like, oh, and it works this way in every sport. It's just like right now it feels like the Nuggets are losing because they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
But any kind of move would just feel like, okay, they care, we care, we're moving forward. They're trying, and Bruce Brown is obviously a fan favorite. So bringing, he in his last stint here, as I recall, resulted in a pretty like good outcome. So, I don't expect that necessarily even bringing back recaptures that same level of magic. But it's like, all right, like this is a guy that we know can work in this world.
But don't you feel like the Nuggets? It feels like they lost their way, and they need to return to their way. And I think Bruce, whether it's fair or not, it would just feel a little bit like a return. Like, oh yeah, that was a guy who got it. That's a guy who got it, and they brought him back. So it's another guy that gets what it means to play the best way given our personnel.
Another guy who's seen it. Another guy. One interesting thing that David Adelman said during the postseason is that he wanted his young guys to sort of understand that the core had been there before in all these scenarios. They'd seen themselves fail. They'd seen themselves succeed. And as best as the younger guys could to try to become a part of that and to go through that experience on their own. I think Bruce Brown is a guy who, whatever he's lost in terms of a step, he understands what went well in 2023. And it wasn't just that the roster looked great, because there were holes in that roster too. Everyone understood the things that Jokic said at the end of the season: knowing your role, sacrifice, doing this for each other because it's more fun that way, rowing in the same direction instead of fighting each other in the boat, right? And Bruce was there for that. So as that team could get on a roll or that team could struggle, he's one more guy that could understand what that group's capable of, but more importantly, why they were able to succeed together.
And I just think very well liked, obviously, by the fans, which is kind of important.
It's super important because this organization needs a win like that right now. It really does.
I also kind of love the idea of Pickett and Bruce Brown. I like that. I think both of those guys would be for a very good defensive backcourt and energy and playing the right way and stuff. So to me, Bruce Brown, I would love it if they used their MLE on him. Another guy people keep using in this, actually one guy I haven't heard, Al Horford. Al Horford is getting long in the tooth. Celtics are blowing it up, but he's very smart, has some Jokic to him, a true backup center.
Dude.
If you talk about a Jokic like sort of copy, but even more veteran, I don't even know if this is possible, but I do know price-wise he should be in that MLA range, and he's made enough money in his career that he might just want to play in a place that gives him a chance to win. So Al Horford.
That's the kind of guy I'd be interested in. Like I agree. Long in the tooth feels a little bit like you're underselling it. Like,
39 years old now. 39 years
but
old.
But he's still good. Like
long in the tooth does not mean bad. It just
39 is the new 36, I'd say. So
yeah, hell yeah. Listen, he is
slightly younger.
He is. He has been a really good player for a really long time. Like that's the kind of guy that you're like, okay, cool. Like if that's your eighth guy.
Yeah,
that's great. Like that to me, I would welcome that move.
Yeah, I do wonder if we are finally at the beginning of the end for Al Horford. I've been saying that for 3 effing years.
I know he and Patty Mills will never retire.
Yeah, Al Horford is on the peak. Like hurts me as a Celtic. You're like, miss this corner 3. He's not going to. But last year,
and defensively, man, he's so good.
Last year he played 60 games. Played.
Just give the production right now. Give the numbers.
9 points a game. 6 rebounds a game, 2 assists per game, 42% from the field, 36% from 3.
Are you kidding me? From a center position?
Center position.
If you got just take off 20% of that, you would be like, oh man, that was incredible.
And he logged 60 games. So, I mean, it's not, he's still moving. He's still playing. I will say I could easily imagine him coming to Denver and stinking the way he did when he went to Philly. But as long as he's been a Celtic, he's been a very effective late
They were kind of looking
player.
for him to be like a starter in a sense, or like a bigger role in Philly. I don't remember his stint there, but I just in along the lines of what we've been talking about in general, like the Nuggets trying to construct a smart team. Like that's a very smart basketball player.
Yeah, and I think he'd be good for players like Deron Holmes. You know, like I think he would also kind of teach him a thing or two.
He played 27 minutes per game.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
The guy I've talked about loving, actually, a couple point guards here we'll go through. Trey Mann, Malcolm Brogdon, Dennis Schroeder. Some of these guys are going to be available. Some of them are not going to be. Malcolm Brogdon is definitely the guy on the list who's been in this spot for like 7 years.
Yeah.
Like, man, Brogdon could be great. He probably falls in this category, maybe even below Dennis Schroeder, maybe above this category. And then Trey Mann, who knows? If you want just like some lightning quick scoring.
I would be most interested in Trey Mann, but I would also think he'd probably be the hardest to get.
Is he good though?
I mean, he's 23 years old. He averaged 14 points
And
a
he
game
was
last season.
dope in the playoffs.
He's super dope.
I'm not. Is he good? Is a fair question. But
It's a totally fair question, and I don't think he falls in the smart basketball player category.
I don't think he does.
But okay, how about take a flyer on a guy, 23 years old, 14 points per game, shot 40% from 3 on 4.6 attempts.
Trey Mann is 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a young guy.
Young guy, man. So that's a classic redraft candidate, in my opinion.
You're
if
not thinking of
Charlotte
Terrence
isn't
Mann, are you?
interested.
No.
Trey Mann, it looks like Iverson, kind of.
Oh, I might think of Terrence Mann.
Yeah, you might be. You might be thinking of Trey Mann. Looks like Iverson.
Let me look to
Plays
see.
a little bit like Iverson.
Yeah, he's a listed at 6'3" guard. He's just
I am thinking
lightning
yep.
in a bottle is a good way
I
to
was thinking
describe him.
Terrence Mann.
Of course, he had an injury last season, so I say 14 points per game. He played 13 games, but I think was on his way to some version of a breakout season.
Yeah. I'll tell you another one. I would name. Nick Batum has said in reports that this will likely be his last year. I think he likes playing on the Clippers. Likely to go back to the Clippers. He's played 21 seasons, I believe. He's like really long in the tooth. I think he's 39 years old. But you know what? We watched him in the playoffs. He still got it, man.
Bro, he's gotten better. His shot has gotten better. His ability, his quick shot ability is like nothing I've seen.
Batum likes Jokic. He appreciates him. You know what I mean? He's talked glowingly about Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, I would do that.
Why not? You've made your money. You're about to retire. But come to Denver, man.
This is like Jeff Green, Uncle Jeff. Like
he needs to come to Denver, get one more year in because he would actually. Nick Batum would play a lot of minutes in Denver. Don't you think?
In the playoffs, he would be like we were looking for a 7th or 8th
Michael
guy.
Porter might hate it. He's like,
are you
dude.
kidding? Yeah, he would play a lot here. He'd be good.
I mean, again, what is he chasing? You know, like you want to be with the Clippers, you want to be in LA, don't want to uproot your family, but all those things can be tough. I'll tell you a guy I don't love, Luke Kennard. That to me is a lot of the shooting without anything else.
Yeah, one-sided.
Yeah, and
one-dimensional. I mean, listen, he's a great shooter.
he is one of the best in the NBA.
he's largely kept his head above water in the NBA. I mean,
think
he's
that honestly, like I wouldn't hate that move at all. Like he's just that's a knockdown shooter, man. Well, I mean, you know,
They couldn't like keep him on the floor. He's that bad defensively. Did Brogdon do? We went through Brogdon pretty quick. Did Brogdon do anything for you?
in like years past, I've been like a super Brogdon advocate. Probably the one that you were talking about. Just like, we gotta get Brogdon. To me, he's like a more long in the tooth Jalen Pickett. Although they're probably the same age.
They kind of are similar. No, they're not the same age.
But that's a very smart basketball player. That's a very smart basketball player. That's a guy you could really count on running your second unit if you're not sold on the Pickett direction. What's up with Trey Alexander, by the way? Is he like still part of the Nuggets?
He's on the two-way, so I don't know if they're going to
still on the
I
two-way?
think he may come back.
Okay, because I'm pretty interested to see what he can bring also.
Yeah.
But I like Malcolm Brogdon. I mean, to me, he seems like a really slow basketball player because he is. But I just think he's like plotting. It's everything you would use to describe Jalen Pickett. But I don't know. I like a player like that. I do.
If your backcourt, if you would just went with that as your 1-2, and it was Pickett and Brogdon, it'd be the slowest, most deliberate.
Like another backcourt violation by the
Brogdon to me, it just feels, 4 years ago that'd be awesome.
Yeah, maybe.
Would it even?
I mean, yeah. Oh, yes, 4 years ago would have been pretty cool.
I wonder if I had to go 5 or 6.
If we go to some more minimum guys here, Nuggets were rumored to be connected to Chris Boucher at one point.
That's right.
I don't really like him.
I don't like him either. I think we were
so
we just
desperate.
wanted to make a move of any kind.
Well,
Water in
and
a
we're
desert.
desperate at that point. Now that you like, I like him significantly less than Deron Holmes. Not the highest IQ player. He does play hard, block shots, so that gives you that.
I don't like him as
A
a player.
guy who has talent as a shooter, maybe, but still waiting for a lot to come together. We talked about IQ plays. I think Boucher is more of a project play than an IQ play.
You don't like Chris Paul, the idea of Chris Paul. He can still play. He played 82 games last year.
Listen,
80 or 82. I can't
listen.
remember.
You want to talk about a guy like that? Is like bringing the wrath of the basketball gods to your door.
We got Russell Westbrook last year.
What happened? Did we win?
It was good though.
It was good, but we didn't win. Like we thought, if we were gotten over and gotten the championship on that watch, but I can't be talked. Chris Paul is just God.
You want to know an even
You're right.
worse?
I
think
think
Chris
this
Paul
is-
would be good.
Do this next one to him. He's going to love it.
What about D'Lo?
How about Dino?
If the Nuggets got D'Angelo Russell just because he fell, he became this like vet minimum. He was the rehab your image guy. That would be an all-time low.
The worst part would be how easy it would be to talk yourself into it because of how bad Denver's bench
and we
has
would
been.
just have to. Like,
He's at least talented.
bro, I have sworn an oath to support all that wear a Nugget uniform, and Russell Westbrook put me in a very bad position last year. But if you ask me now, absolutely not. No.
But I mean, he might be good though with Jokic too. He comes here. Who knows?
The man can shoot. He can shoot the ball.
And shoot that little mid-range a little bit.
He can also be the reason
you guys, this is year number 6 of this guy, DeLon Wright.
No.
Sure.
No.
We're looking at minimum candidates. DeLon Wright, could he play perimeter defense? Could he dribble the ball?
He can.
All right, I'm in.
I don't want anybody that's been bought out.
Let me just say, well, I know, but that's where these
But
are
no.
the waters we're swimming in.
No,
my
but
friend.
like Al Harford never been bought out. Like guys
Sure,
that have
sure.
always been good. Not guys that like a team had him. They're like, we're gonna get off this guy no matter what. And then everyone's like, he's available. And then you're like, what are you talking about? Like he's not a consistently good basketball player. I want guys that have been consistently good, but now are a little long in the tooth and are looking.
I like where you're at.
That are just like looking. Like I'll keep hearkening back to this idea of when the Warriors were on their initial run and they got David West to come, and he took less. It was like very clear statement. He was like wants to win a ring. Like he's willing to take less. I just think that is out there for some of these guys.
Oh man,
DeLon Wright.
you ever just look at his numbers?
They're awful.
He's not good numbers,
He stinks,
man.
dude.
He's not a numbers guy. He can't guard.
he's not one of those numbers.
All right,
basketball
Eric's talked me out of it.
Really?
Dude, if
I'm
you've
not-
been
I'm
bought
not that
out,
into
if
DeLon
you've been
Wright.
bought out,
I think that's a bad take, though. If you've been bought out,
who's been bought out that
Well, I'm
has
just saying
proven
the
to be a
Nuggets are
good-
swimming in those kind of waters, though.
But they're
you're
not. They
hoping
don't
to
have to
capture. No, they literally do, though.
But
If we're
it's-
looking
they-
at the minimum contract.
But it doesn't mean guys that have been bought out. Like there are guys that have never been bought out.
Boris Diaw bought out. Was incredible on those.
When
first
was he
teams.
bought out? At the very end of his career?
2012 or 13.
Well, I mean, come on. But
That wasn't the
did
end of
anyone
his-
sign him after that?
Yeah, the Spurs. And they
Oh, really?
won- yeah, and they went to 2 finals in a row.
I see. Fine.
It happens sometimes.
All right. DeLon Wright, I do not believe is that guy, but perhaps I could be proven wrong.
Gary Harris, we've kind of talked about him a little bit. It would feel weird if Gary Harris came back. I just don't think he has anything left in the tank. What does he really give you? Not much. Taylor Horton Tucker.
Nah, I can't.
I know I can't do it. He's a very frustrating player. Marvin Bagley. We're not desperate enough for me to want Marvin Bagley.
No, dude.
We are not desperate
No,
enough.
but we're close.
No.
That's kind of like that's like the center version
We
of
cannot
Zeke
take.
Naji.
Yeah, we can't take guys. It's like but it might work
No,
for
yeah,
us,
but-
guys.
Marvin Bagley, no.
We can't take. It might work for us, guys.
Tyus Jones.
He's okay. The Suns thought he was going to be the reason that they put it all together. He's a good player. He is a good player. if you could get him for the minimum, I would.
Is he that much better than Pickett? Is he better than Pickett?
He's faster.
Do you have to promise him a starting spot?
Yeah, that's right.
Because that was the deal with Phoenix. I mean, yes, if you could get him off the bench for a minimum, yes.
What
Yes.
about?
Yes, Tyus, and more
Oh,
than
here
DeLon
I know.
Wright.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to get a yes from D-line here. Gershon Yabusele.
That's a yes. double yes, triple yes, please God, yes.
Why?
There's no way we were going to get him. He's awesome.
Is he?
Yes. He's awesome. He really is, man.
You like Yabusele as much as he does?
Not as much, but yeah, I would take a flyer on
Dude, he's
Yabusele with a
awesome.
minimum.
There's
Yeah.
no way he's
I would
signing
take
a
a flyer
minimum.
with a
He's gonna get a big contract.
Spencer Dinwiddie?
No.
Dude,
He's
no.
been on a couple minimums recently.
No, I could just see that
No,
one.
thank you.
I can see that
Really?
one not working in a
He can
heartbeat.
get into the paint a little bit. He can shoot a little bit.
No, thank you.
He's from Colorado. Played at
Oh
Colorado?
no.
I mean, no.
And he's kind of a weird guy. He's in the like. He's going to be on the buy market
Dude,
every time.
Spencer Dinwiddie. There's like 3 guys that are the same guy. Spencer Dinwiddie. God, they've all been on Brooklyn and then Dallas.
Schroeder.
Schroeder, I would take. I like Schroeder.
I'm not going to lie. Chat might be right. Like, are we sure Marvin Bagley's that much worse than DeAndre Jordan or Darius Saric? Or
I think he is. I think he is.
Bro, no.
Can't. Oh, I mean, you're right. They can't guard. I don't know what we're doing. What about Trey Jones? Tyus Jones' little brother. I think he's actually a pretty decent player. But on a minimum, he might be okay.
Marvin
But,
Bagley. Pretty bad.
But we are talking again. We're getting to this. Like, I like Pickett. You guys know this. So for me, the Trey Joneses of the world, I just think it's kind of the same. Mason Plumlee. This is where we get into. I love that we have Gary Harris. It's like, he's old and washed. Mason Plumlee. Ooh.
Well, Mason Plumlee represents a position where we need his skill set back.
We need it more. Yeah, that's fair.
And we're kind of like we kind of have to be like they're not. I assume like DeAndre Jordan. He's not still under contract, right? Like, is that
DeAndre Jordan is not under contract. He's
right?
one of the spots that's opened up.
I can't imagine they're going to bring DeAndre Jordan back.
If they do it, would it feel like a failure, even if he was the 15th guy?
Yes,
I think it would too.
yeah. But I would be.
What about Vlatko Čančar? Would you feel that way if it was Vlatko Čančar?
No, because Vlatko is like. Vlatko feels to me like there's still something there. Like we still every time.
Yeah, he's
like,
been hurt for like
he
4
just-
years
I
in
know,
a row.
and it's just
man.
like, are we going to get hurt again? Like,
Would you feel like it was a failure? They only have 3 open spots.
Sorry,
And
if who
Vlatko Čančar was one of them
that played
that got one of the last 3 spots
Oh.
that Denver has.
a little bit.
What if the other 2 you really loved though? What if it was like Bruce and who else did we say that you liked here?
Sure, Yabu. Let's say Yabu.
And Yabu, and then you got
dude, Yabu's
Flacco. All right.
then you're in. Flacco can play a lot of positions. Like he can fill in for you.
I mean, I like
4 or
Vlatko. I mean,
5.
like call it homerism on this one. Like just he is an absolute vibe guy. Nikola Jokic loves him, and when put in the right position, meaning not coming off of an injury, he's been like pretty effective.
I
Pretty
agree.
good.
What about
I'd love for Vlatko to be good.
What about you have Sam Merrill on this list?
Yeah, Sam Merrill is an interesting one. You're gonna get your shooting.
I kind of am in for the shooting thing, and I don't know. You're gonna find a lot of these guys shooting at this price range where you go, can he play in the playoffs?
Right.
And honestly, maybe / probably not. But surely you can build some version of more lineup versatility with more shooters across 82
know,
games
just
with
like-
Jokic on the roster,
Bro,
right?
it's just like we saw what
More shooting.
Justin
something one way
Holiday
or
looked
another.
like. And he was so playable in the playoffs. He was great. And it's a guy where it's like he's been around the league, he's had success. And it's not, it's just like maybe he's gotten a little too old. He kind of got phased out. He hit the end of his second contract. And it's like the price that he was commanding doesn't really make sense anymore. So
Who?
Justin Holiday.
He didn't command any price.
Well, I'm saying like nobody re-upped him. Like
Okay.
he just kind of like got left in the wash, and it wasn't because he's like a bad player. It's like we got all these new guys coming in. Guys like that can play in the playoffs. Like there's a lot of like I want to make sure. Obviously, as you're saying, like whoever we get is like guys. You're like that's a playoff player. Like that's a guy that you can imagine winning them a playoff game, like Austin Rivers did for us a couple times. It's like,
Yeah. You know who my most ridiculous one is on this entire list? Ben Simmons.
I would take him.
Backup center.
I would take
And he's
him.
a point center that kind of plays like Yoke in some way.
I would
small way.
absolutely take him.
People are going to be so mad I said that. I just mean that he could be the center that you play through. no other way.
It
He's
would,
too much of a loser.
It would be
man.
the best
He's a total
Jokic
loser.
reclamation project ever. Yeah.
He's such a loser.
But he's a great player.
He's a
If you-
great
if you
loser.
barely relied on him. Denver doesn't have enough shooting for Ben.
Yeah, I
Simmons,
don't know.
honestly.
We probably have to look at him in the same light as Marvin Bagley. I can't tell the one.
He's
that
an incredible defender, though. That's the difference.
he is
Ben
a
Simmons
he is
can
a great
guard,
defender.
man.
Yes, he is a great defender.
I'll tell you what, Ben Simmons would probably look awesome next to Jokic.
Probably,
But that's not why you would sign Ben Simmons. You wouldn't be thinking about it that
That's
way.
what I'm saying, right? Like it's not, and you don't really have time to just kind of, hey Ben, you can do this.
God
you
damn
know,
it. We need a bucket, Ben. Pass it.
He's like, I'll find somebody to take one. Paul Reed, my old buddy.
sure,
I like Paul Reed.
sure.
Paul Reed, I feel like he played well too. He wasn't ever. He just like his role didn't really make sense for the construct of.
He's gonna hustle. He's a little undersized. Monte Morris is another name that's
I'm
on
in.
here. We've
Honestly,
talked
I'm
about
in.
him. Really?
I'm in.
Over Pickett?
Yeah,
Monte Morris over Pickett?
Yeah, I would take Monte over Pickett.
I still like Pickett, I think.
I'm not like jumping out of my seat, but yeah, Monte Morris has worked here.
These last three are really fun. DeAnthony Melton.
Yes.
I have
Get
no,
some
I don't,
defense,
I don't
long
really have an
arms.
opinion on him.
I think he would be an interesting. If they got him, if it was like Bruce Brown and him, maybe I'd be interested. Or, one of these centers. If there's Al Horford and him, I'd be very excited. Dante Exum,
Yes.
injured. I don't know what the timetable was like for him, but he would be great.
Is he currently injured?
Him and
I thought he-
Jokic. Because I can't remember.
I thought he played at the end of the year.
He also played at Partizan.
Yep.
Him and Jokic could bond over that. And then the last one I think is the funniest one. Bones Highland.
Oh man.
Has he grown up at all? Probably
No.
not.
I mean, he has.
He's
but,
been humbled.
But here's the thing: is that the big fella specifically was out on him. So it's like I can't.
Yeah,
you
it's hard to imagine.
He also
can't-
hasn't played anywhere else, man. He
know.
like literally hasn't
he's
like,
learned no lessons because he hasn't been in class.
Well, no. See, this is the problem, though. I think with players is he was Denver's child. When he was sent away, it was like he's no longer that, so they don't owe him anything. And I mean, if he came here, it'd be the same situation.
Yeah, we can't.
Denver wouldn't treat him like the old Bones. They would treat him like.
I listen. I still believe in his talent, absolutely, but he made too many bad relationships here.
Yeah, and I don't think he's the type of guy that you could even if he did change or whatever, grew up. I don't think the guys would believe it.
I also think straight up might be one of the few guys that 15 would just say, no thanks.
Thank you. Yeah, you might be risk.
Yeah, he didn't like how he played. Like that's a problem.
So here's when we just do that exercise and we went through almost every single free agent. Some of these are inevitably some of these guys are going to go for way more than what
sure.
Denver can offer because there's always somebody that gets paid way more than you expect. Maybe several of those guys. As we go through that, Horford would get me excited. Bruce Brown would get me excited. There's not that many guys on the list that if they signed him, I'd be like, ooh, I'm intrigued. There's some guys that I would say like, okay, this could work out great. Do you feel the same way as we go through this, that there's a lot of guys you're like more negative or neutral on than positive?
Well, there are guys that you're looking at. You're like, this would require some expert level negotiation from our guy. What do we?
John Wallace?
No, Ben
Wallace?
Ben Wallace. By the way, we're trying to think of. We have to have a nickname.
Ben Wallace is easy.
Yeah, Ben Wallace. But I was thinking a couple. Like we can either call him. We can call him BJ.
Yeah,
The
perfect.
Veeps.
BJ,
The Veeps.
JB, or what about
kinda
this one?
like the Veeps.
What about
Veeps
this
is
one?
good.
John Benet.
Let's go to Super Chats.
Okay, cool.
BJ. But I was going to say, there are guys on this list that I feel like you look at it, you're like, they're going to get a way bigger contract. But it's like Torian Prince, like Brooke Lopez, like guys like that you're like, that doesn't seem likely. But it's like, Nate, could you talk a guy like that into taking less for just a year? Jay Crowder, maybe. It's like
Jay Crowder.
A hard pass on that one, but I
I know.
understand your point. I understand your point.
scrolling, but there are guys that if. And this
What
would
about
get
just
me-
a foreigner? What if they just get somebody
Yes.
that we don't even know? They're
Carly
like, oh, he's
Jones? I swear to God, I'm back in on it.
I love that Chrisless Johnson.
Chrisless
is your
Johnson,
guy again.
dude, he was so good in the Olympics. He was so good in the Olympics.
Let's take
You
a look
never
at these
know.
super chats.
Actually, why don't we, if you're watching us on our Fast channel, we're going to do Super Chats now. You can head on over to the internet.
The World Wide Web. It's overtime here in the Toyota Lounge. Shout out Colorado Crumble. Adam, please play Neva. It's by the creators of Grizz.
What's it called?
Neva?
Neat, N-E-V-A. Hey, I'm
N-E-V-A.
in. I had no idea there was another one. I think I Googled that. I was like, what is a game like this? And I then looked at some and I didn't get it. So same one, Neva, I'm in. Dude, you guys have to play that game. You guys play more video games than me, so it's probably not as
Bro, you know what I played on the flight that I just absolutely fell in love with was Metroid Dread. You guys played Metroid games when you were a kid?
I know the Metroid games.
I never played.
Metroid Dread was so goddamn good. I couldn't believe it.
Really?
It's incredible.
I'll take your word for it straight up. Neo Film Critic. Fortunes favor the bold, and the Cronkies and the Nuggets are not very bold. Hence their relative mediocrity for the majority of their ownership.
Yeah, you know who was super bold last year?
Nico Harrison.
Suns.
Yeah, they were pretty bold.
Nico Harrison.
Well, Nico Harrison.
Dude,
That's what he said. Didn't you see his quote?
That was, and I saw like
Fortune favors the bold.
I saw the outrage that like the most due out. Like, shut up.
That
dude.
guy's just begging to get like tomatoes thrown at him on the street.
He is such a dick.
Jeremy J Rock. I'm going to Tolika tonight. Denver is the
DNVR.
Is it Tolika of the DNVR is the Tolika of the Nuggets coverage. Been around for a while and still the best. Keep rocking, fellas.
Hey man, you're the best.
Metallica. Oh, Metallica. Dude, I thought you were like, I thought there was a place in Colorado.
Hey, listen, man.
Metallica.
I know, that is a little bit weird.
Yeah, I'm familiar. Yeah, I don't think anyone calls it that. Amin T98, Nuggets new front office. Looks like the generic front office when you play My Career in NBA 2K.
You're talking about JBJ?
Hey, respect Ben Wallace.
You're talking about John Benet?
From Amin T98. Bruce minimum, already paid. Horford. True. Screw it. Horford MLE, Trey Jones minimum. I'm in.
I'm in. That would be that would be a pretty good.
Larry Nance.
Pretty
I
good.
love Larry Nance. We didn't even do Larry Nance.
Bring me
Larry
Larry.
Nance. Larry Nance would sneaky be one of my favorite.
I'm telling
ones.
you, if they sign Bruce Brown and Larry Nance, I'm gonna be hyped. I'm gonna feel
Backup
great.
center, can play power forward next to Yoke.
I'm telling you,
I actually love
this.
Larry Nance.
It's gonna require deft negotiation from John Benet, but I think that I think they can make it happen.
It is 100% true, man. And that's, hey, maybe they do surprise us. You know what I mean? Like, hey, Horford is going to come here because he knows John Wallace. These guys go way back.
I'm saying, like, there's so much to this that people look at and they'll just be like, "Oh, that can't happen." No, and then
something happens,
and then you look at the Luka trade. You're like, "What are you? Nothing. Everything can happen."
That's not going to happen to us, but yes.
But I'm just, my point being is that people think that there is a locked-in way and mode of operation, and it's like, no, dude, you're not working with the 2K trade machine. You're working with Joe Dumars.
All right, I got it. New one. 3 spots. Al Horford, Nick Batum, Brucey B. There we go. All
right, let's
lock it in, baby.
Lock it in,
and Michael Jordan.
Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll see you on Monday. Have yourself a great weekend. Hit that like button on the way out.
Let's go.
We all silly like the mayor.